Bro, we've been walking for ages. Dude, stop complaining. We're almost to the restaurant. Oh, can we get a table for two, ma'am? Of course, right this way, you two. Bro, thank God we got a seat. I am so hungry I could eat a horse. What the hell did you say? Thank God we got a seat? Nah, bro, you eat horses? That's messed up, man.
Yeah, that sucks. What the hell, man?
No, it's just a second.
Get out of here, man.
It's a figure. So come on, no.
Dude, what the hell?
Hey, my name is Mr. Trashman, and today I will be discussing a topic that slightly bothers me, but definitely doesn't bother anyone too much, but, you know. And that is... people's lack of media literacy. What does that word mean? Now, for the people who don't know what that means, don't worry. Media literacy is defined roughly in the Oxford Dictionary as the ability to critically analyze stories presented in the mass media and to determine their accuracy or credibility. In simple terms, it's just like understanding a deeper sort of meaning behind what is presented to you in TV shows or movies and things like that. Now you might be asking, Trashy Pants, what does this have to do with anything and why does it bother you? It bothers me when people start swinging around facts that are actually facts. For example, a fact that people in the Demon Slayer fandom think to be canon is that the Wind Hashira, Sanemi Shinazugawa, is colorblind. He's not actually colorblind in canon. He's never been stated to be colorblind. I mean, you can headcanon him as such. Like, headcanons don't bother me, but people keep claiming that, like, oh, he's colorblind. He's not. I mean, as I said, it's not a huge deal, but you're still spreading misinformation to people who don't know any better. Really embodying the me when I purposely spread misinformation on the internet. Now, to just prove my point that Sanemi is in fact not colorblind, I will use my media literacy skills. I did say that wrong, but that's okay, I don't care. But see what I did there? Okay, whatever. But before I do continue, there is going to be spoilers. I think that's a given. So, warning! Wee. So when people When people show their proof that he's colorblind, they usually bring up this panel. In this panel, it depicts like a Sanemi at 12 to 13 years old, sitting over his mom's dead body.
One does.
With his brother calling him a murderer. The only other time that we see this event is through Ganya's POV, where he's said previously calls him a murderer because he misunderstood the situation. I'm only going to be focusing on this part here. After I killed her, all the colors in the world rapidly became worn and faded. I wandered the night in desperation. Now, people took the all colors in the world rapidly became worn and faded a little too seriously and believed that after he killed his mom, boom, the world went black and white. While it is on a very rare occasion to have this type of color blindness, or in this case, color deficiency, that only lets you see in black and white, in shades of gray, I don't think it would be possible for Sanemi just to go colorblind in this moment if we are talking in a less fantasy-esque way, because this is a world where demons exist. But I digress. To go colorblind, Sanemi would have had to have one of the following happen in this moment. Had a stroke, had a severe head injury/concussion, just got cataracts randomly, had been on some sort of medication, been exposed to chemicals, been over 60, had a chronic disease, or just stared into the sun for too long. Me personally, I don't believe any of that happened. Now, what I do believe what happened was that he just lost interest in the world. He no longer saw it as he did yesterday. He just killed his mom, most of his siblings are dead, and his last living brother, that he swore to protect, just called him a murderer. The way he states that the colors became worn and faded, I feel, is more geared towards the sense that he just didn't feel or see the joys in life anymore. There was no more fun and games, just bland days and nights. To understand characters, sometimes you have to dig a little deeper into what exactly they are saying and what those words mean. Now, if you still aren't bored with what I'm saying, don't worry, as I have more examples. Now, I will say this is from a smaller group I saw in this particular fandom. but I will still bring it up because I've seen quite a few comments from my little look around back in my day. But the next examples will be about the radio host down in hell, Alistair from Has Been Hotel. Has Been Hotel, for people who somehow aren't aware of it, is this indie animation made by VivziePop that came out on Amazon. Not that recently, but more recent when I wrote the script. A lot of people have problems surrounding this show, as do I, but we're not talking about that right now. People have misunderstood Alistair's words and things that are said about Alistair a lot. Some people even believe that Alistair is a good guy, that he's just an ooh-woo little misunderstood goober, and I can assure you that he's not, in fact, but again, this isn't what this video is about, so continuing on. Some people believe that Alistair has a tail, while it hasn't been outright said not to be true. In some instances, VivziePop even entertains the idea on her social media accounts, but people heard the line, "Alistair's missing, fled with his tail between his legs," from the song Finale in episode 8, and took that as, "Oh my god, he has a tail cannon!" Sorry to burst your bubble, but to flee with your tails between your legs is to be ashamed or embarrassed that you got defeated / you failed. And Alistair's whole thing was fighting Adam, which he did extremely poor at. I don't know why they let him do that by himself, but I don't know. But he ran away afterwards because he was ashamed he got beat. Or at least that's how it looked to Vox and Valentino, as they are singing about Alistair and not Alistair singing about himself. Just because another character says something about another character does not equal a hard fact. It's like how in JJK, some characters say some things about Gojo that aren't really true, because they just assume things about him. Another thing people misunderstood in this same song is from the lyric, "Great Alistair Altruist died for his friends." People just assumed Altruist was his last name. It's not. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, altruism means a person who cares about others and will help them despite not gaining anything by doing so. He was just explaining how other people would see the situation, and how would they see him as an altruist attempting to save the hotel from being destroyed. And he hated that. He was upset at the fact that if he did indeed die on that roof, people would have seen his death as an act of altruism. That would ruin his whole scary radio demon thing. So, couldn't be having that. People would see this scary radio demon trying to save this little wimpy hotel, trying to achieve something that is completely unachievable, at least to everyone else's knowledge. People would simply remember him as the lame overlord who died for his stupid friends and the Princess of Hell. My last example from Has Been Hotel is once again from the song Finale, specifically at the line, "Once I figure out how to unclip my wings." Some took this lyric as, "Oh my god, Alistair's an angel!" No, he's not. He's talking metaphorically. To clip a bird's wing is to limit their freedom, to prevent them from escaping. A common theory with Alistair is that he has a deal of some sort, very possibly a soul-binding one, that's forcing him to be at the hotel or forcing him to do something else that we don't know of yet. He's relating a bird with clipped wings to his situation. He's saying he's like a bird with its wings clipped, not that he is a bird, or an angel in this case. My last example I'm going to use is about our favorite pink-haired psychic, Kusuo Saiki from The Disastrous Life of Saiki K. If you don't know Disastrous Life of Saiki K, you're missing out. This is a comedy anime that goes over this psychic kid's life. The thing is, he doesn't want to be a psychic, and he just wants to blend in with the crowd, but his wacky little friends prevent him from doing so. Now, for being honest, I actually did believe for some time that this was a hard canon fact before I actually read what everyone was referencing when they said Saiki was canonically a trans man. Now, hold on. Stay with me here. It's never stated that he isn't, but it's also never stated that he is. it's sort of up to the reader's perspective, I suppose. You can always bet that The Disastrous Life of Seki K will have so much text. My god. But in this panel, it shows Kusuo, but in this case he's Kuriko, talking about how he was born. To paraphrase this wall of text, doctors expected a boy, but they didn't see the boy thing, so they were confused and in a bit of a panic. After an hour, the boy thing appeared, and they just chalked it up to it being so small that they just couldn't see it. Saiki explains that he was technically born a girl, because he had used transformation before he'd come out. He claims that he's fairly certain that his true gender is male. Now, of course, nobody can actually confirm if he was or wasn't always a boy while he was in his mother's room, as these were the ultrasounds that were provided, so. Kusuo somehow was like that dumb slime from Dragon Quest and the Puma logo. I remember when I first saw that panel, I had vivid flashbacks to when I was playing Mario Sports Mix with my older brother. It's a peak game, but I digress again. I was always told that it was a hard canon fact that he was trans when people would talk about it. It's sort of more up to the reader's interpretation, because it's more up to if you believe Saiki to be certain, as he did transform a lot in the womb, as we can see from these panels. Maybe he just didn't have a gender and was an amorphous blob of flesh. It's a weird idea, but hey, it's Saiki K. It's pretty weird in general. All I know about Saiki for sure is that he is a boy, and he just wants to be a normal one. So, that's very respectable. So, the moral of the story is read the source material if there is one, and don't take everything at face value. Please? Okay, yeah, bye.